Shani, atimle pisha shani.
Mwebani. Tomba break wa manga, ngatawa chikupunko. Wachukuna shani, because nama mira taopwe. Namuleka msaidi mire yaso. Mira nisa. Muke pshabana kasheba ishbabwiro. Kwesanga ati munalo zote. Ngaisha lero lishokumba. But naso ntastraight ati ade shokso. Kani sho muntu ade
Chikondo yao kwe.
Ya shari. Tangu neta ya kuno. Ndio taumwene huyu.
Chiro kumoneta yini.
We ndi mwene keshi.
Chira mira ngbosa. Boss.
Hi, my name is Kenny T, and this is how I'm rocking up for my podcast today. I'm riding a Harley Davidson. It's a V-Road. It belongs to a very good friend of mine, Mr. M. I'm heading out for my podcast. Let's go. Hi, on my moment of the week this week, I decided to come to Atletico here in Lusaka. So I've come here with my team to watch some futsal. Let's go. Hello and welcome to the Kenny T One-on-One podcast. My guest today is Chellah Tukuta, the landlord. The landlord, Mlishani Mkwai.
Mkwai. Yes. Former landlords, we are ever fine. So you are supposed to ask me to say, how is fine going?
So how is fine going?
Fine is going very well because Shagwata stress. I don't have stress to say no, you have to pay rent. Shan is due. So we are ever fine.
Okay, so Chellah, this issue of after wakule nganda, there are some people who feel like kwatule mwena mwabantu abarentinga. Can we clarify that first before we jump into the podcast?
Mwena mwabantu abarentinga. You have to be provoked for you to go to a certain level. If no one provokes you to get to a certain level, you never reach that level. So in life, you need someone poking you and provoking you to say, you will go renting. Then people will be like, now chile nkole china mgushita ma block. Chile nkole china ishte cement. Chile nkole chile let me go and buy sand. Then at the end of the day, you build, I would have achieved what I want to achieve because I want to see more people building and become independent, Do
you explain this on your social media?
I don't have to explain because in Box to explain that's why it says, and it becomes boring. So the same is important. In the long run, afterwards, that's when they'll be like, I think it's do you know, remember overnight influence? A lot of people are now building, A lot of people now, they were projects, they went back to those projects because Chellah is poking them, So that's the way it's supposed to be.
Okay, so Chellah, let's get started.
Yeah.
From the Chellah I knew for many years.
Yeah.
To a photographer for the president. How did you pull that off?
In life, there's what we say, taking risks. The thin line between successful people and unsuccessful people is risk taking. Okay? So when President Hakainde Hichilema was in opposition, people did not want to associate with him. So I said, cool, I'm going to work with this man. Should this man become president, then I'm going to be presidential photographer. So let me work with this man. And I never asked for a coin to say, no, pay me this, pay me that. A lot of young people miss it on the fact that when they see a person like that, they want to boss, and stuff like that. I was like, no. Let me work with this man. He becomes president. Hey, man.
We'll revisit this topic. Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Tell us about where you're born, Chellah. Where did this whole thing start?
I was born in Chingola, in Changa South Hospital. Yeah. 28th December. I don't know which hour I was born here, but in Chingola. And my parents, the time I was born, my parents had separated.
Okay.
So they separated whilst my mother was carrying me. And my father was working in the mines, and he got something, disappeared. Yeah.
What do you mean?
He left my mom.
After Kwata some
Yes.
Shark mine.
Shark mine. Went away. So my mother, mine houses. She went to stay with one of our cousins, and she stayed there. Muma servants quarter. You know, Copper built houses. I've got the servants quarter. So that's how she stayed in that servants quarter. And I was born there in Chingola, in Changa South Hospital. And then as life was going by, at the age of 5, I tried to, when you're visiting your father, your stepmom is like, hey, you can't sit on the sofa. You sit down. You can't eat what your friends are eating. You have to go brutal. It was a brutal regime. It was a brutal time. And ngawaisachi tena nikanwapanga kamulandu pakamba. Kukuma paka blood yafu manangu. Wilino dia soko kapakamba. So it was tough. So my mother, noticing that life was becoming hard, that's how we went to Kumush, went to Kasama, and I started at primary school, at Kasenda Primary School.
Okay, before you talk about primary, when all of these, let me call them injustices, were going on in your father's house, did you complain to your dad? Did you know that these things were happening?
My father, at that time, I don't know, sometimes men are brainwashed or something, but at that time, my father, you tell him, you would think, when you complain, you would think you're the problem. You see that?
Yeah.
So it's different. Kumina pofut. That's how bad it was. So now, in the end, it was survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
So nangule pumwa, nangufile sikashanishan kukosa fibakamba. Yeah.
So then you decided now to go to the village.
Yes. My mother took me to the village, dropped me to my uncle in Kasama. My uncle there, Bagamba, I found an aunt. Yo. It was another terrible experience. Yeah. Because now my aunt, na chicken run. So we are koku. Yes. Or throat shish twankoko tuya. Those to manaka. Yes. So now, quite a lot times I go at pa veranda. Mule infla ile roka. Then wako bat go and mop. But infla ile roka poka. But ule mopping abakamba. Yeah. Punishment TV sana.
But why?
I don't know. It's just that some people are just like that. Even nowadays, quite wabana who are going through those things because probably barabanti bakwe bale ptamumuliro wabo.
Yeah.
Nomba bale funisha chile chifuku chichira pamwana. Some people don't know where to remove their anger, stress on.
Yeah.
So me, I came to realize actually and analyze later on to say I think my aunt might have been going through a lot.
Yeah.
Na ba uncle maybe.
Yeah.
So chile chifuku chichira
bale funisha pali.
Ko funisha pali. So kwa bana ulala mungo ko nango ba isa kubuka no wembya bwa marubbe bakamba.
Fo bale bonko. Bakukapa. Say what? Vuka. So you were sleeping in the chicken run because tamari space munganda.
Omoya space munganda fe buno. But why say no silifali la muno. Mutware nkunani kan.
Then bayama basuminisha.
Bayama na bena kaina bena. Wakashi. Wala station. Yeah. Diminga baba tani chitente.
So you stayed there for how long then?
I stayed there for, and when I started grade 1 there at Kasenda Primary School.
Yeah.
So when I started grade 1 there, going into grade 3, my mother, baisa upakuli ba head teacher.
Our school
Kasenda, no, not there's a place called Kunkuta village in the deep village now. Yeah, because life was hard. I mean, so that's how she now had to say, that's how I went now into the village where I was in a classroom where you have grade 1, 2, 3.
In the same class?
Baba.
No, but let's put me somebody shashan muri your time.
You know, up to now, she went for barista manage. But you know, kwali wa mwambo kubere ngo tubuku trotu inetulia fire see them go shani uko wale mifunda banga wale funde chisungu even nichanganya. And you know, there were 2 classroom blocks. Aba bayo ruchero limbi ukuri aba grade 5 6 7 ivo fine. You know, it was just a whole different setup, you know. And a lot of people nowadays, you know, when I look at some of the people who don't appreciate certain privileges they have, I'm just like, okay, I think you tap tamo mufia so, you know. Yeah. So in any way, I'm a free education. Man. For me who's been through that kind of arrangement, I understand the sufferings of a child in a village. Because I lived in a village, no shoes. Kenitinga yalo kemfula bakamba. Yalo kemfula. Tawa kwa tensa pato. Wali kwa telinga. Wali shwelinga. Amanga bakamba yali lepuka bakamba linga. You know? Naka short fika moka short bakamba. You know? Olo wasi sangafati. Kwa kula kwele kumushire ile kama life then ba sister by size.
Your older sister?
Yes, my older sister. My father nishinomba batata babu ya kulwansha. He got a job kulwansha. Abantu babe batuma na wenuku alechula. Because there's one time when our stepfather nishitua kumushukuri ba mamu kwikara.
Kulaba upirwe
mama. Bagamba kwale bati ba stepfather ngabaisa iso ushuku. Na bakorwa. Olwa sabye bati fumeni. Midnight muntwandi munoko wenu na mutamvi chupo chapu. Iwe. One time boy baisa posa ila spia umufu. Waisha umufu.
Na luishwa umufu.
Baisa posa umufu ati pa! Ni sture butuka. Ino kuisa ipuntura na pona tikwa oro ya esa pita pati. So, abantu abengi ngabesa mukula kumona ati gabama buranda nangu ni muchechu le pepolet mweleza tabeshi baire rumbo jamfunya hapa amfisha hapa bagamba oko twafuma ni sava ni nkondo. So that's why nangu muntu it becomes difficult for people to bring you down if they don't know where you're coming from. It's very difficult.
So you went to school in the village from what grade to what grade?
So from grade 1 I was in Kasama to grade 2. From grade 2 to grade 5, Nari Kumushi. Then from the village, my father now requested that that's how I was gotten by my sister, our firstborn sister. Twaisa isabari kala kuno kurusa uzinga lume tukatani. Twaisa then maisa mbika pa bus yaku ya kuisa kulwanisha. Bagamba nisinafikire mu sakolo na forepo tropical.
So the time kumushita foi depois em sapato aéreo.
Já foi depois em sapato aéreo, não sei como chama. O chá fica musako na safara para tropico. Pa. Then vai sambika na pa bus. Que akuisa kulwanisha. Those days, quando era uma bus era UBZ, Ep08, Shani, those buses era kwa but ngamwaima kurusaka uruchero na ngwa 05. Munefika actually kwale
wanokulala mubasi
kaini basi ile
alenda panono
baka machenda panono chibasi twayafika kulwanisha. I remember twayafika kulwanisha, we started the day before. Twayafika kulwanisha kuma 15, so the following day Kwa twafika kulwanja omukalamba when daddy was supposed to pick me up. Pa station. No isa bakamba. Ero bwaya buleyi ninjini nkwate efyola bakamba. Ishaya ko kulwanisha. Ero bwaya buleyila. Then I saw a gentleman. Now punda pada Gregory, my brother, nothing. Ero watu minati kamusende ali no isa. Ever I say sana nikani parwanisha pada some man called Mr. Evans, may he so rest in peace. Bamdara bo wife me from somewhere. Now ishba. You might have been observing. Now we kala for some time. Imana nulero rela na tuno fumile kuisa. Kurusaka njendere so. Taramoneka brother wo. Nyumba ni kuma 18 yoka. Today. Okay. No. The first time I saw an angel in my life. Okuisa ya Kenti pa police, Palwanisha Central Police. He went and registered. Uyumwa ichoyu na musenda kunganda kumyanti. House number so. If people come looking for him, mubebo kwa bati ali kumyanti. Bakamba for nice ya bakamba kuri wa mudala. Like I'm telling you, na alikumenye angel mu life ya. Wajo kumanya angel because that man could have done anything to me. And remember that time kwa isile wa story bakamba ati bari funye mitima. Bari ipaya, shanshanyu and stuff like that, you know. All muntu aisa kusenda kwa so Isaiah. When we reached Kumiao, bakamba kawadi, nice meal, shani. Uruchero the following day, what clothes do you have? I check, you know, tiang pasa ula Pabu Seko market. Kulanja pa Pabu Seko market. For one to Pabu Seko market kusara ula kwa no tun sapato bakamba. Namba no kupopoka. Sarawala ile ni bakamba iranga bai chisa bai wamnya ulemone kafe proper bakamba. So now 2 weeks later is when I saw
you stayed with this man for over 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks, yes. That's when I saw my father now coming. I saw him and I was like, you know, now, you know, as a child, you're excited to see.
Yes.
I ran to my father bakamba. Yeah, okay, today. You know that feeling where you run to your father. He's not. You are excited, but he's not excited to see you. And I'm like, you know, there's a child. These are things I normally think about them now, and I'm like, this is why I'm always the best dad, because I never had the best dad, but I always want to be the best dad to my kids,
to your children,
because I know how it feels to have a father who just you're excited and you know. So I started saying never for the sake of formality. Now Mr. Evans is the same man. Say to say, yes, someone so much okay. That's how he took me Munganda in the house and says, no, as you go, you know my place. You should be coming.
You should be coming.
That's how I went with my father. Bakamba to Isaiah to Africa pa not concerning affair kwa vato mulete ni mwana for the sake of abantu kulandalanda chi mulete fya mwana fya finish. Bakamba kwambe school para pa Mpelembe primary school in Rwanda. Now it's in Mpelembe secondary. Kwa Isaiah no mbama uniform ba neba ba anti so ba neba Mrs. Mulambia iba mbokista nani kane to organize my uniform.
Your dad didn't have the money to buy your uniform?
He had the money. He had the capacity. He was working in Kuyum Zambia Limited. He was he was one of the general managers and stuff like that. And that time,
senior position.
Yeah, senior position.
Manager.
Yes. Yeah, the senior position. So, ni never kwa fati. Tawa fe responsible kuba na makamba. Fo ya isi makamba kwa bantu wachi to organize shanshani bamfana na kai school pa Mpelembe primary school. Tuamba no kwenda ka distance ka. There was like a distance. Back in the days, we would walk a distance from home to school, you know. Takwa alama moto kati kule na fechi group. Mwafika bakamba. Kwa fast forward bakamba grade 7 yafika. Kulembe exam baisa kwa. Ngawapo no lebo kira mukumushi. Ulebe nga kuya ba step mamu na bambi bakamba. Kwa isa ba step mamba.
What do nga balaba
First.
first?
Baba first. Fya pena ba upa bambi bagamba. Bagamba ulebelenga ba isa shimie light. Tauli pira kwa light. Ora ni fixed rate ka? Takuli ati fukuta kwa tama units apart no. Nga wabomvya sana utuma units twala pwa. Pale bani fixed rate.
Yeah.
Nga muni 100 kwacha.
100
kwacha.
Doesn't matter how much.
It doesn't matter how much you use, you know. So bagamba okay. So ile kosa vile live pa grade 7 namba fukula shara nomba ku school.
Kola shara.
Nga mwainuka
washara.
One of the classes bagamba na ikala fule job. So when twice an exam kwa maiza isafu man. Ni shukuri ati nga wapona urebo kramo kuisa
kumushi
bagambo kuisa cha 799.
Cut off point yarishan.
Cut off point was 600 and actually it was like 600 and something, 630 or something that time. But bagamba that time kuisa la 799 almost 800. Iwe bagamba kwa celebrate ama teachers well ni bagamba baisa bati omwana oyo kwafu mama. Ala chula ama teachers they even find a way of helping you. Most school, whilst I was in school, primary school, is where I learned business. So my sister is a pangama pie, ama fritters, na sama na shareholder. Bakamba, mukachora kaku school. Pa break.
Ambo kushisha kwa.
Ulishisha kuba noyo, ulepita. Kwa! Bashta. Pa wapanga kamane filafini. Why? Tuasa mu grade 8. Batata no shita kwa uniform makamba. Fya is over. Just people came on board, helped me. Kwa my teachers vafini and people that knew me na kuchurch Catholic because I used to play guitars at church.
I see you still play guitar.
Yes,
up
I
to
play
now.
guitar.
So you learned from that time.
I learned from that time. But Catholic church, so there used to be this gentleman called Mr. James. He was a carpenter, but also playing guitar. That's where I learned guitar kuisa ku church. So ila inaida kwale bati bakwaya na muyali ati ku remember there was Father Mia Drevensky, a Catholic priest. Yes, he was so much in the media things and stuff. Father Mia tufunda ko na fimbi ama instruments ama bass guitar what to have fish with my instruments. The Catholic church brought me up. So by going Catholic church kuda abantu baishashani bali afuisha filafini. So when I went to Luansha Boys, kwa na saya Luansha Boys, grade 8, grade 9, ya isafika muntu wanti. Boy, vaisa ndamu assembly. Bali abashali tama school fees, tamwali plan exam, tamulilemba mock exam. All of mock exam is where you gauge yourself.
Absolutely.
Bakamba ya isa kosa. I gathered courage and went to the head teacher after assembly. Madam, ine kunga ndamfuma. Ni so. Mrs. Muchinda. Says, what? Now this is what I'm going through. So those complaints from teachers to say sometimes you miss classes. This is what you go through. Not yes. Sometimes you're even falling mad to the school. Bakupela tikabia mu garden. Mukulima. Uchitevine. Bakupela vile nchitoba kamba from nowhere. So kwa my classes. Okay, what's the best way we can do this? So that's how she said, okay, fine. I've heard. Give me number yako nchitokuliva wisu. Na aliswata na alishiwa kamba. Na land. That's how she called him later on. Bakamba bali seven kwa kunganda. Udawe ne head teacher wa ileza lako. Ewo kashitashani, ewo kala kulipira ku school no kwafuirisha. Bakamba na isabu ila ku school, madam, mwandetere rafe. Really? He was telling me, no, I'll look after this child. No, this child, arabai rebange. Shashanu.
Wale bayan.
We. Vaisa ntola puna munani kani mulwanisha Central Police bakamba. No. It was quite a scene. But stepmom, vaisa bula uniform yandi. Vaisa weka muka bo. akebange wamfa so ine na ku school kai wafala fi uniform pa kwa wa ku school kuyafika ku school bagamba ba police bafika ishi bakamba bayikata grade 9 2 weeks munani kale ba police officer kula bamona uyu mwache tabesa abamuletere kwisa kuna tabesa na mukuma I think bale mufyenga olo pepe bange tamoneka so
ala moneka pepe
ala moneka moneli same I think kabia iwe fafyo kwa kuyawika bwekera kuli bawe so because ba we so doesn't mean more for you bagambe funa isilifu mumulya kwa I must say I'm a strong character. And that's why it's very difficult for anyone to break me because, the things I've been through is difficult. I mean, to break such a person, like the things I've, so na isa wekera, then umunandi, alikwete bahanta bari shati Yemba Enterprises that time, bari chitika. But no, kese ikara kokuno. As you are going to ni exam ye so kese karakono mnobe bena mali bapangire ka kote jomba le kala guys but the job ba fa na ta opportunity keni tina le job ba ile yakwa bati abana ndinga balala 22 ine ndeka ne job until what to cover up afona pushire fingi bagam kwa na job exam time ile samukufika ile samukali waiza ile samukali exam time ile fika kwali baka buka lati mukuyamba kama mathematics kapita ukiwa mu exam bakamba walosha paper mweleza wani ama kweshe zereni fina tsetsera kai
just about prepare
iwe kucha kwa I remember one of my favorite papers was history. Waberenga ama yese yala chaka undi kingdom shanshani yala ama ila tebo yama yezi weni shaka boni which ye bakamba tonse tulia waisadi hapo history at 98%.
Chimona 100
yes. Ukwisa chapa mathematics 99 na isa kwa kama ndesa ba head teacher ni sana unkusenda my results. After nafika kule wasanda Tukuta, I was going through the grade 9 results but I didn't check your na isa kama na mama ujafika kwinoko bakamba ba head teacher kwisa mulomo ali ama results muri ba careers nani kan emwali ba results ba isa checking ukwisa isa ba head teacher mu office omona ikele muda valila she started crying. Now I started thinking that if I failed, then she hugged me. And then she says, I've never seen an intelligent chap like you. I've never seen. She showed me Muntwandi 499. You're supposed to go to either Ucrest or DK. But you don't have what? Support. But I'll pay for your uniforms here at Luansha Boys, take you in a pure class. And that's how I was taken to 10C, the pure classes. That's how I went to pure class. I was doing ADMA, pure physics, chemistry, Shan. Whilst the Catholic Church organized, no, go to Serenja Boys.
So Serenja Boys was a better school?
It was a boarding.
Okay.
Yes. So I was taken there because one of the people that we used to congregate with per Catholic Church, Margaret Conception, had the son, Serenja Boys, Mr. Jerry, may he rest in peace, Sydney Jerry. So that's how I went to Serenja Boys. Went to Serenja Boys, Toamba Kokura Gwene, Sebotek. Serenja Boys.
How did you find yourself out of the country? If you can just
so now So number, from there now the Catholic Church noticed after grade 12, because I was doing pure sciences.
Yeah.
Na isa pass. Kwa sabati, no. Uyule Kenya medicine.
So they chose for you.
Yes.
Is it something you wanted? Is it something you wanted to do?
I did pure sciences. Okay. I wrote 7 subjects. Yeah. So I did earn up for subject in any woodwork. So additional mathematics, distinction. Mathematics, distinction. All of the, apart from actually, woodwork and then physics, I had the 3, English 3. The rest were distinctions. So that's how they said, no. This guy is too intelligent. Take him where? To German. That's how I went to where?
So the Catholic Church
Yes,
gave
the
you an
Catholic
opportunity
Church
to go
to German.
Okay, so the intention was for you to go and study
Go and study medicine.
medicine.
So no, but when I went to German to do medicine, so in German you do 1 year of language. So whilst I was there, and if they found them for the do medicine, so I spoke to the priests that were in charge of the sponsorship and stuff, and then they said, okay, maybe go and do some course in France, psychosocial counseling, blah blah blah, to do with as you think about it. So that's how I went in France. Staying with the priests and stuff like that. Then I discovered myself. And then I said, okay, maybe no party in I can maybe be a priest or something, let me just. So that's how I went to University of Chicago, where I now did political science, philosophy.
So from France, you went to America?
Yes, to the US.
Sponsored by the Catholic Church? Okay.
Yes. Na I have job babakamba. Na I pass. When I was in the US, is when I discovered my passion for photography.
Okay.
Because now I see the image of Africans to say, donate $1. What? These children are suffering, blah, blah. And I said, okay, image plays a huge role. Then I began to now think through, how do you create these images? Then I met a guy called Scott Kelby, a renowned photographer in the US, who now said, if you want to learn, come through. I went to his studio. He then said, okay, I'll connect you to the New York Institute of Photography. And that's how I went to the New York Institute of Photography to go and start learning photography. Whilst there, I said, okay, fine, I found my talent now. Came back to Zambia. When I came back to Zambia, I went to Zikas because I worked a bit so kamana go na chinda ko pa Zikas. Then I went to Zikas to do ACCA. Then I did ACCA full program. Na chaya kwa. But I didn't want to practice ACCA. You know that to continue practicing ACCA, you have to pay subscription, pounds and stuff like that. I said, no, I've gotten the knowledge I needed. I'm a Waisha for ACCA. Yes. So when people are talking on social media, hey, you're just a cameraman, I look at them and I'm like, bro, do you know the qualifications I have? The difference is that I've only chosen to follow my passion, not this path of careers, what. If you ask me, most of the times I'm listening to people, they are giving financial analysis, what. I just look and I'm like, okay, fine, okay. We are in definitive. And I'll tell you, for a person like myself, to succeed the way I've succeeded in my photography career, you need to be educated. And I think some people don't see to say, this guy is not just an ordinary cameraman or camera person. Okay? Because in my photography business, I've invested $120,000 plus US. I've got equipment. Okay? I've got a brand, I've got a name. You get it? I've traveled 70 plus countries in this world.
I want to talk about that, Chellah.
Yes.
How did you become an international? How did you become an international photographer from being a local? Because I saw, back in the day, you take pictures with, pictures of, P Square.
P Square, yes.
I think you have a personal relationship with them. We saw stuff on CNN and all of that. How did you achieve that?
Look, so what happened was, when every photographer was focusing on weddings, kitchen parties. I focused on street photography, street and documentary photography, where I was going in the streets to capture people, to capture the essence of life. So when everybody else was focusing on the money, I was focusing on something different. And that gave me the niche where now the world began to look at and say, wait a minute, this guy is telling stories through pictures. Because at that time, street or documentary photography was not very common among African photographers.
Yeah.
It was only photographers from elsewhere come to take pictures of people in the markets, and I created images that now began to be exhibited across the world. Newark art gallery in the US, Japan, what? I started now traveling now. No, go and document this side. And that's how now, when I was, I went to Nigeria and I documented the place called Makoko. Those images were now in the Nigerian media. Okay, now, let me tell you this funny story. That was 2016, okay, when I went to Nigeria. And I stayed in someone's house, a young photographer that was following me. So they needed to pay me for the hotel, Shanshan. Then I said, no, I'm going to stay in that guy's house. I went there, Kennedy, the boy just put a mattress and beddings there in Iba. There's a place called Iba. Okay. So the boy started taking me to places where the slave trade used to take place, what. Then I began, because you see, when you go in a place, go to places where people think, because when you stay in the hotels, you won't see the real life.
Yeah.
So I went to see where the real life is. Documenting Nigeria Bakamba, when I was leaving that place, I had the name such that people started calling me Foz the bad guy, P Square, Rude Boy.
Yeah.
The one with dreads. Yeah. Rude Boy, what. And now the in-ear doors, then those guys and stuff like, and then they said, no, we want you to come back. When I went back to Nigeria, I was mingling with all these. So sometimes I look at people and they're saying, oh, wow. No, I've worked with the Davidos. Mention them. When Davido was not even at that Nankan, you would document them, you would capture them and stuff like that. And these are people, you find that those relationships will still be, will still be there because they remember the things that you did, So the Nigerian space now, people are blogging. I remember, I think I was even, there's a time I had an interview on Power FM.
Yeah.
On radio. Yeah. Went to South Africa Fashion Week, all the celebrities that were there, the Wonangma Tevas, the different guys, Black Coffee is a personal friend. And then, I just made now that name. Black Coffee, every time when he's in Zambia, Chellah, where are you? Can you document me?
Yeah.
You go and document. Papa AKA was brand ambassador for South Africa Fashion Week. I started photographing those guys, and then other brands now began to just fall into place. So yeah, so
that's how it started.
Yeah.
So after that, you landed a job.
Yes.
At State House.
Yeah.
How was your experience? What is it like, working with the head of state every day?
So the experience with State House now is, after now, I see that, okay, I'm not just supposed to be a photographer talking photography things and stuff like that. I got involved in change of things, change of government and stuff like that. And
so you became a politician. Did you campaign with the UPND?
Not, let me say, not a politician, but an advocate of something. Okay, human rights, stuff like that and things like. So, and then I sided with a leader, hakainde hichilema. Because I believed in his vision. Okay? And I said, sir, I don't want money. I don't want what, but I'm going to work with you. Then HH, I remember that time I was arrested and I was in cells at Central Police. Then when I came out, I offered to do a photo shoot because he came to visit me.
At Central Police?
At Central Police.
Okay.
So I was arrested for defamation. Okay. So when he came to bring me a lawyer and offer solidarity. Okay. So when he came, he left. And then later on, I was like, after I was out, I was like, I want to do a free photo shoot for who? For HH. Because he visited me.
Yes.
And I did a photo shoot. I was doing a photo shoot. He said, you are so professional. And from this day, you'll be my presidential photographer. And true to his word, when 2021 came, he became president. I went into State House as presidential photographer. But when I was in State House, one of the things I think I've learned is that a lot of people look at State House because the other people made State House look like it's a money-making venture. Now, Kennedy, I'll tell you that working with the president is not an easy thing. First things first, you find that your allowance maybe to go to Kitwe is 220 kwacha. Okay? Then here comes a person with a deal over a weekend. Can you cover my wedding? Then you charge for a wedding 20 pin, 30 pin. Then you have to go with the president to cover an event on the Copper Belt over a weekend.
Yeah.
And your allowance is how much?
220 kwacha.
Okay.
But you're getting a salary at the end of the month.
You're getting a salary, but how much is the salary, Bwana?
I don't know. Tell me.
So you find that all these, the civil service is graded. There is A, B, C, what. So you find that maybe you're getting 17 pin.
Yeah.
Okay. Then over a weekend, maybe you could make more than that. You see that?
What you mean? Yeah.
Yes. So you begin to weigh options and say, yes, it's very prestigious to move with the president. It's very nice to chill with the president, for people to say, presidential photographer. Then I thought through and said, am I here for the title? Oh, what am I here for? Then I spoke to the president and said, sir, my kids go to this school. I pay this much. My pay here and everything else added is not making sense. I may be tempted to do illegal things to cover up. That's why you see most people who work in government, if they get good salaries, why is there corruption? Have you ever asked yourself that question?
Yeah, but also,
why is there corruption if people get good pay? I mean, if you get a good salary, good monies, you won't be wanting.
Chellah, some people will say money is never enough.
Yeah, money is never enough, but there is an extent. You'll find here is, you see, like the civil service is very admirable on the outside. Check how many civil servants and their pay slips. Check the loan deductions that are happening there.
Yeah.
So when people look at Chellah, they didn't know. They said, no, Chellah has been fired from State House. No. I asked the president to say, I would love to do something else. They said, okay, we find you something. Probably, if you like it, where? In foreign service. That's how I went where? To Brazil.
Okay, but before Brazil, there's a time you spent some time in prison. I wanted us to speak briefly about that.
Yeah.
How was your experience in there?
In prison?
Yeah, and then...
Man, you're the first person to ask me, how was the experience in
prison?
Prison...
Is it something... Is it something you expected? How?
Yeah, me, I take every challenge with a positive mind. You see, because of my background.
Yes.
So when I was going into prison, the beauty about lawyers, when you're going to court, and that case was political, Okay. So the lawyers argued the case and they knew to say, if we are good. But because the person involved is of, is a cabinet, non-minister, and stuff like that, man, the person dealing with this case will have no choice. So you just prepare. So my mind was prepared. When I was going to court, when there was ruling, I went with no belt. With my
I'm told
canvas.
sometimes lawyers will tell you, mwana, unyamuleko champepo.
Yeah, I just went prepared. Yeah. I went prepared. I think even the magistrate, when he was in, I was there relaxed and chilling. I even had, I think, an interview before, before court session. I was just like, whatever things come, man, we shall go. And when it was happening, they just saw me. I think he must have been disappointed. He must have been disappointed, thinking that, I'm fixing this guy. Then just to see this guy, in the flexing, I went, remember that I was in police cells before.
Yes.
When you're arrested and then you begin amateur trials, you're out. So in the cells, I learned to say, okay, when you're in cells, all you need to do is, Abama guys, Fuaka, Shan, and when they know you, Mr. Chellah, they prepare a nice place for you to sleep. I was a don in prison, man. Mr. Chellah, no, here's a space for you. With a bed, what? Thank you, President Akainde Ichidema. When I was in there, pizza, Hungry Lion.
The president was sending you stuff to you.
People were...
He was in opposition at the time.
In opposition at the time.
Okay.
Pizza, one per 2 years. After a month...
So, I'm there to be pizza machine.
Bagamba. There I was... Once baranga baleta, ama pizza, ama Nando's, Shan. Then I tell the prisoners, chilling in say, bossy. You give them, they eat. Boss, anytime there's the achani manya work. No, but boss bakare chabe, tisa seveza. And it's how you carry yourself that determines how people will treat you. So when I was in there, bagamba kwana alikuwa tena paka kona so upondala.
So utakwala wako mineko nishwanyire. But Chellah, let me ask you this question. Are there some stories that you heard while you were there that really touched you and probably still touches you up to now?
Yeah, there are stories.
Can you share one particular one?
I'll tell you that there are people who are in prison, not because they committed a crime. No. Our system is bad. There's a guy who was in prison because a friend, he was coming from Chipata. Then a friend tells him to say, I want you to carry a parcel for me in Petauke. And take it for me to Lusaka. So the guy got a bag, not knowing that inside there was those ama horns, yama, rhino. Yeah, Bakamba. The guy is reaching Chongo. Zawa go into
to inspect.
Found with those things. The guy tries to explain. No, but listen, guy. But here's the thing. You are innocent until proven guilty. The problem we have with our justice system is that police don't even take time to investigate and check whether indeed this person has committed a crime, or they could use that person to help them get information on people who do things like that. If I were given an opportunity to be president, police is one area, especially investigations, is one area I would want to scrutinize. Because there are people in prisons, Bwana. Why? Arresting officer demanded for money, and this person refused. Then why akubika fyo mulandu conduct or bamupelo mulandu. This person is not going to court. There are people in prisons who don't go to court. They don't even know why they are there. Because at times, I'm sorry to say this, but the corruption in the police service, police, DEC, Zawa. Man, these officers, they just want to be milking money from those guys. Why do you take issues to court when you know to say this? You even know that you haven't investigated a matter. And yet you take someone where? Kuma prisons. There are stories in there, Bwana, where someone, you know, I saw a death happen in prison. A very sad thing. Here is a guy arrested. Kwa muliama toilet ya vamulia. Asuwe ya nani kafawat. Kwa libo kulipila toilet tu isuma. But who are not able to, they go kuyakuma toilet yako. Man. And
kulipila nani?
In there mwa systems, mwa prison makamba. Mwa bati kapitao, mwa bati they've saved for a long time, biko kusuma before they exit naka TV and all those things and stuff like that. Okay? The other prisoners bakamba ngolo ingira fyo mundu. So there's this guy, imagine this story. This guy goes in. Muramu inemuria. He gets an infection. Okay?
Yeah.
Then he finds fiambo kulubana. Okay? You know, things rot. Find fiavola. You know? Yeah.
That's why medical attention. There are clinics in this prison.
Bwana. Do you know the medicine they give in there? Panado. What? And this is why I would love that the president, I'm glad that he started the issue of mattresses and stuff, but there is more that can be done in prisons. Those dispensaries where they get medicines. You know, an officer can see to say, Umuntu, the condition is bad. They need to go to hospital. No. Those people, are they trained people? You know? So I saw this guy complains. Guys, this is the situation of no, the guy next thing, bwana. We're waking up dead. Then they begin to now run around. And now they know to say this person died in there because of negligence and not taking someone to the hospital. And this is why it's so sad, you know, that as Africans, really there shouldn't be even corruption in the Ministry of Health. You know, it says a lot about us as Africans, right? You know that corruption is heavy in the health sector in Africa. Why? I don't know.
Okay.
Health, yes.
All right. Now let's jump to how now you got a job now to go outside. The stories that were flying around were that Chellah alalanda sana. We were saying, you know, you're posting some things and whatnot, and a lot of people thought that your position in State House did not warrant you to speak like that. You're supposed to be in the background.
Was this
what? Social media,
no, let me tell you.
So people were saying, Brazil because can we clarify that?
No, let me tell you. People are just jealous. I'll tell you, if there's a president people will be jealous of, would be me. If they are jealous, okay, that's the thing. That's another debate. Let me just say, people are just jealous of the fact that they knew to say a presidential photographer will always be flying.
You travel the world, right?
Yes, you travel, right? But they did not have the facts. And the facts I'm putting here on record, if you want, you can come and arrest me that, no, I lied on TV or on air, is the fact that I asked the president to leave State House. Because I want to kutiba kuipaila pachintu. Icho wale monabe nati. You know, people are saying, no, he gets 100 pin salary. What's 100 pin?
Abale kulwa bakunse mukati olokonse.
Bakamba konse fie. You know, sometimes, you know, Kennedy, I'll tell you. I'll give an example of, let's say, Power FMI. There are employees who get the same salary, right? They get, let's say, 10 pin. But there is one who uses the money with wisdom and looks rich. The other one doesn't know how to use their money and begins to think that probably the colleague gets more money. You get it?
I do.
You're getting the same salary, the same amount of privileges and stuff like that. But the other one seems like, I think you are a pangish. And I'll tell you, me, I don't even want to go back in the civil service. Mwali bama jealous. Why am I jealous? People fight for small things. People fight for trips. A simple trip. People fight for the things they fight for, and you can know the fact that I'm not coming from a background, a poor background. I mean, yes, my family background, yeah, I'm coming from that one. But after I establish myself as a photographer, I'm coming in as an international and a well-traveled photographer. So for me to go and start fighting with someone over a trip, I'll be like, man, you must be crazy, like, you know. I have flown business class. I'm going into government it's economy, you know. I have made some of the, and for me, it's pure love and service to the president who appointed me.
But sometimes you flew on the presidential jet, isn't it?
You would fly on the presidential, yeah, with the president.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's the same thing I'm saying. Because I'll give an example. Even the president, I think there's one time he came out and said, do you know how much I get paid? Do you know my allowance? Because people think that, obviously, a salary. People even begin, there are people who are just out there who just sit down and calculate things from their heads. They see you have a nice phone. They think, okay, so obviously the salary is 100, 50, 70. What?
So now, talking about injustice, you just reminded me of something that happened to me.
Yeah.
So one day, I'm driving. I put trailers almost all the weekends.
Yes.
Kafue Road. I reach on Kafue Road, traffic jam. I go in, my van passes. At the back of my trailer, a woman hits into me. Kunuma got trailer.
Yes.
We get out, exchange.
The woman is in the problem.
So,
yeah.
I'm a driver's license, to Ayako police. No, we'll sort it out tomorrow. It's a straightforward issue.
Yeah.
I go to the police. I was the one who was charged with careless driving. But it had him papusha because it got me thinking, like, are all the people who are in jail right now actually guilty of the crimes they were charged? Because I didn't need to call a friend of mine in the police.
No.
Are you understanding?
Yeah.
It's a straightforward thing.
Boss,
Boss, when I got there, no, this. But that showed me a side of injustice.
They wanted money from you.
Oh, no. Nobody asked for money from me.
Oh, yeah.
But just the way the story turned around. How does someone hit me? Look, not in front, not even on the van.
Yes.
At the back of the trailer that I'm
They
pulling.
were in the wrong.
I go to the police the following day over a straightforward issue, and they charged me for careless driving.
So she paid.
So I had to pay 300 kwacha bana.
No, but the other person, obviously.
I do not know what happened.
What happened, yes.
But what I'm saying is that I could not believe that things could turn around that way,
Yeah.
So, but anyway, let's move to your time outside the country as a diplomat.
Yeah.
How did that go?
As a diplomat, it was a good experience. It was a good thing. But honestly speaking, I'll tell you, I'm a photographer. I'm a social media person. So being boxed in work and things like that.
But you requested for it.
Yeah, I requested to leave. But then I was given then I was given an option to go to Brazil. And that's how I went there to see. And but it's a good thing to save your country. But I'll also tell you that it's something that I picked lessons. If I were president of Zambia, let's say I'm given a privilege to say, Tukuta, you're president of the Republic of Zambia. I think the way I would do things would be a bit different. Okay? Why? Because when people go in foreign service, they begin to focus on allowances, forgetting the actual job they're supposed to do. you know. And I'm not that person who will sit back and just be watching people chilling there and busy writing back to Lusaka. Oh, we need funding for this and this and this. Yet they know that they just want to manage. You see, let me tell you about. I think Zambia needs to change the mindset. Zambians, we need to change the mindset. You give a Zambian a job in foreign service, they are getting. You see, and here's the thing: you get maybe allowances coming to about $10,000, right? The person will begin to convert the money in kwacha, not the currency in that
country.
Because remember that it's not everywhere where the exchange rate is as it is here.
No, it's true.
You see that? So someone will be thinking, oh, going to Brazil or going in foreign service, I'm going to make money. So I learned to see, they say, okay, we are different people. Others go there not to save the country. Others are just there to, $1
You went there for what?
For me, it was to save the country and to do my best in my capacity. Okay? That's why I went there. And that's why when I reached in Brazil, I was even telling some of the colleagues there to say, in a life, because one, na camera name ninja out, taking pictures, shooting and stuff like that. Nombe ina nyagobati, one ulesa mugufika, ulesa ngati a person who's in charge of admin, level of education yakwe. Honestly speaking, I love my president. I love the country and stuff like that, you know. But honestly speaking, I'll tell you, there are people in foreign service who don't even deserve those jobs. The person is not even qualified. So they are costing the government more money because of, you give someone a job, administration, doesn't even know how human resource, how to handle employees, local against the staff. And then you have to be there. Here is a superior who has no clue on the audit. He's giving an instruction to an accountant to say, approve this. The accountant is saying, no, I can't approve this without authority because then I'll be questioned when auditors come in. You get the point? So then you begin to look and you're like, wait a minute, is this the kind of boss I'm I've done SCC, I'm an accountant. I know these things, I know audit queries and stuff like that. So you're going to be like, no, you have to approve this. Well, and I'm like, wait a minute. Probably government needs to change the quality and the caliber of people that are taken into missions.
So you had to attend classes.
Yes.
To do with diplomacy and all of that.
It's a 3 months thing there where they just teach you about etiquette, what. But I'll tell you that education is beyond what you go and learn at Zidis.
But when you went abroad, Chellah, you were very quiet, and all of a sudden, wasambo koland. Is it the same thing you're saying where warisafir wakulast?
No, look, I'll tell you. I was a political...
And I'm thinking, tabam somebody chef, what to say and what not to say.
Yeah, of course. But I'll tell you that I was a political appointee.
Okay.
When you're a political appointee, I was defending the president. I know people were saying, hey, you are a diplomat, you're not supposed to talk politics and stuff like that. But defending the president, I don't need to be labeled as... You understand what I mean? People are just jealous of the fact that, okay, I would say, no, the president is doing this and this and this and this. No. He's being a politician. You'll find that, I'll tell you, Kennedy, any person, permanent secretary, minister, whatever it is, appointed by President Hakainde Hichilema, if President Hakainde Hichilema today was not in office, those people, there will be nothing like, what. It's political. Politically, those are political appointments. You are gone. That's why I was defending who? My president, because I knew to say, okay, my president goes, I also go.
Why did they recall you?
Why was I recalled?
Finish watched it. Do you regret your
Do you
action?
know that for me up to now,
Tawaishi.
I don't know why I was recorded. I was just told you're coming back. And actually, the minister at that time, my friend, Stanley Kakubo, I asked to say, but what's going on? No, whatever it is. And you know, when people are ministers, I'm sure. Then I said, oh, okay, fine. You know, because when I got the jobs, I was not going in like that is my ngafya pena pa ineni chapwa shan. You know, I was going in there very ready for anything. So when I was recorded, I was like, okay, fine, good. Life continued. And I'll tell you, Kenny T, one of the privileges I'll tell you that I benefited was Brazil is a country where I can do higher purchase. Aye. So me, when I was in Brazil, I was very smart. I ordered equipment, Bakamba, photography equipment. I got photography equipment, cameras from Chaku to Bakamba. Then I was paying
Slowly.
So when the time was coming
To leave.
Bakamba was at a point where I was like, gosh, man, can't I just go back now to Zambia? So when it was happening, it's that thing where you feel like someone was working according to your plan. You get it? That's why I would want to tell people who are listening to this and watching this. In life, you should always be so ready and so ahead of those people who are planning to say, we will do this. Let me give an example. If Power FM, the person you are renting that place from, was like, tukabamona, kuntanshi tukalunda. Tabeshi that you're building. Okay? So when they are coming to say, no, you want to push a building, you have finished your building and everything else. No, tulelunda korenti wasanda tawe, it's okay. Na mulunde, chief ya mkwai because if you tulesta shani, tulinapa kufuma. Then they will be like, who will feel like, who will feel,
I understand.
Yeah.
Chellah,
Yeah.
I want us to speak about your marriage, your family, and where we are now.
Yeah.
I know that you're divorced. How long has it been?
It's been from 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in contact with the family? The madam?
Yeah, my kids, I always, we co-parent very well. My kids come to my place. I'm still a responsible father.
Do you wish things were different?
In terms of what?
Divorce?
Look, I'll tell you something. Talking of divorce, if you're in a marriage or in a relationship that is toxic, I'm not saying I was perfect. You understand? I'm not saying I was perfect and she was the best person. Or she was the worst person and I was the worst person. No. A relationship or a marriage is two people. But when you observe to say that the marriage is not making you progress, you better make a decision, a bold decision, and say it's not working out. A lot of people will stay in marriages and say, no, for the sake of children, bwana, those children will grow up and go. There are people in marriages who are not talking to each other. Me, my situation was quite different. And people, let me clarify this. People would always say, Chellah left his wife because of a colored girl. No. The marriage was already done when I was pulling up that stunt.
So it was a stunt?
It was a stunt.
So what were you trying to achieve? So what did you do?
So now what happened is this.
Listen,
what happened? When I was going through I was going through a certain period in life where things were changed. Properties that we had were changed into different names. And I'd lost everything. You understand? So when I'd lost everything, I needed to come back. A man must always come back, to his feet and, make it in life. So then there are people who came and say, Chellah, we would want to sponsor a stunt.
But they become a man.
Kaini nishi nimpya ine. Kaini nishi nimpya pale. So, okay, I'm a master of stunts. Don't worry. It will be so real. And it will be so perfect. And believe you me, that's the best stunt that would ever be in Zambia because people believed to say this guy and this girl, there was something here, this colored.
So there was nothing.
There was nothing.
Completely nothing.
Completely nothing. Just
Not
like
even,
the way you watch a movie.
Mwana, because sometimes kwa muri stunt mula mwine, mwasa fumana film.
Ah, ngati nishita mafu minyo mwana.
Mshedi yonse fuma mwana.
No, diminga mwari fuma pona chimo, diminga kwa ino kubata, I think tupa nefye. Today, people would have seen us going into civic center, marriage and stuff like that. But
did you achieve what you wanted to achieve out of that stunt?
We achieved that what we wanted, and I came back on my feet. Bakamba nishisha kwetena ka monto ka fiance ba isenda bakamba fiadia. So kwa numbani start from scratch.
Okay, so how did you choose the woman? When doing the stunt.
How did I choose the woman?
How did you choose her?
How did I choose her? She was a musician.
She wanted the numbers as well.
And she wanted the numbers as well. So I was like, okay, fine. This is the thing now.
Okay, so is there a way that your divorce has changed you or shaped you into a different person? Can we talk about that?
Divorce has shaped me. And I want to talk to people. Thanks for this privilege. Oh man, I'm loving this. I've never enjoyed the podcast. I'm enjoying this one. I've been on podcast, but this is the best podcast I've ever attended because why? I'm being asked things that, people have had misunderstandings over, like they don't understand. So my experience of divorce is this. In life, you can approach, remember what I said, you can approach something with a positive mind or with a negative mind. My approach to divorce was different. I said, fine, it has failed to work. Well, it has failed to work. And because it has failed to work, it's better I start from where? From scratch. A lot of people are going through bad marriages, but their fear is to come out of that marriage or that place because they are thinking to alistama property. No, let me give you an example.
The other thing is that abantu baratontonga shani, baratumona shani.
Kairi, baratumona shani abantu, then wasambo kutontonganya, tualistireka plot yukulu Saka Westi, tualikwataka building yaka so na kuisa nombanga tuafumamo mchupo, nombaba ntunga yambira pesa. Bakamba, me I just said, one of the vehicles that I was driving, a BMW, I don't know if you remember, I used to have a BMW.
Was the BM na bus?
Yes. That BMW wakamba police by some kuisenda. Reported stolen. Uleova? Ni motoka yoyo wakamba. How? Basi 5. Wakamba nafumisha fe kamera bagyandi. Na madam ni sharifira so shani. Na sana ndo venshi. Ama kiss. And I said, umwa umetapwa. Asapo la fi. That's how I left. Vaisansi na taxi. Fuma motoka ya ndio nashitereka. Vaisansi na taxi wakamba. Nae. Ine ishi mama documents fiari chinja. But for the sake of the children, you're like, let me not take these matters. If you are my shana. It's okay. That's how I went home. Munganda tamuri fintu. Turned the house into a photo studio. Started advertising photo shoots. Bagamba, I just said, okay. I remember I cried, yes. But I just said, Fisangaba. I started Kenny T. I remember putting up a promo on social media for kitchen parties, weddings, and stuff like that. Up to date, I thank God I said, I don't know how I raised 200,000 kwacha plus that period. And refinished the house, got a Ranix, and, but one time what I'd done is, I bought some plots, Shimabala. which I did not
Disclose.
disclose. Nakusilvere? Nakusilvere stwafa. So I thought, there's a mukadis on a paisa street disc. That's the way now I started now. Ukuipanga. Today I'm a landlord. I've got my own land.
You built your house
Yes.
after you came back from Brazil.
And people are
Shama benefits, Chachan.
look.
Because your house is very, very nice. And I
Thank
think
you.
there's a lot of money that went in.
Yeah, but people think that.
Even though Tawan Jitako.
Yeah, no, you have
But
to
I've
come.
seen on social
No,
media.
you have to come.
Uh-huh.
You have to come. I've got a bar as well. Now, what people don't understand is that I am a social media influencer. Okay, so you have companies that will be like, Chellah, we'll give you this, advertise for us. So no, let's not exchange money. Me, I just want sand, or I just want blocks. Okay, so don't give me money after advertise your products. Just give me a non-cat. And I have friends who are lawyers, who told me to say, that's a legal contract. So no one can go and say, hey, how did you build? I was just say, look, I've got this company. We did this transaction. And instead of them giving me money, I got the service. There's exchange of what? Service. So most people are thinking, if you remember, people are saying, now that he has come back from, because I had been saving money. Okay? I'd been saving some money and stuff like that. So when I was starting the house whilst I was in Brazil, people are now thinking to say, oh, hey, it's because Arikuisa Brazil. Remember that I was recorded before the house was
finished.
done. And people said, no matter what I'm going to say,
Before I push.
ela waisha sangati na puisha. Wamona? Na puisha. Because Kuria, people think that I came with millions. I'll tell you that when you're in foreign service, when you're going back as a diplomat, going back home, they will say, for example, to say, if you have katundus, you have to take back home. Okay? Wala send, let's say, $30,000 to transfer your katundus. Let me tell you, me, I was very smart. Impia shakwenda tintwale katundu, I invested in a plot. Chakwa pa ngwerere. Kwa? Then I someone talk I invested into cameras. Remember that I was supposed to pay off Fiamma cameras. I paid off Fiamma cameras. Yeah. When I was coming back home, I was just coming as I was. Na iseva fona ishirif. Ero numba Fiamma box stationi. Namba Fiamma. Fiamma twati ifwe bakamba tulapona waisa ikunta fe pa. Fiamma kama ikunta fe pa. Yes.
Let's finally talk about your social media beef. What's the story there?
I don't have any beef with anyone. And I don't do any beef. The difference is that I only say things that people, not everyone is saying. So the difference is that I have a different opinion. And my opinion seems to get on certain people's nerves. Because it's just an opinion. And I'll tell you something, Kenny T. If the way I'm talking here, it will be in the public domain. Okay? If you bring a matter in the public domain for public scrutiny, then you begin to cry to say, why is this one? Hey, mind your business. How do I mind my business? I mean, I'm also looking for numbers, buana. Yeah. So if you bring your topic in the media, I'm going to give an opinion because you have brought it there. If you don't want me to give an opinion, keep it in your house.
Chellah, are there some things you've done in your life, especially, career-wise, job opportunity-wise, that if you had an opportunity to do again, you do different?
I don't know. But maybe what I would do different is just the normal lessons that everyone learns. Who to trust. The people you trust, the people because I've learned lessons where you trust certain people with certain things, whatever it is, and then these people, they betray your trust, things like that. And you find that, Kenny T, I'll give you an example of yourself. We've known each other for a long time.
Many years.
Have people ever heard to say Chellah Tukuta is attacking Kenny Tonga?
I was wondering instead of attacking.
Thank you. Okay. Why would I attack you? Or why would I? Now, do you get the point?
No, I do.
Okay. So now, even Kenny Tonga, the friendship that I have with him, I know to say, if I told, there are things I've told you that we haven't spoken about here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I've never heard them from anyone because I need to say, only Kenny knows this one. So when I come to hear it from, so you find that your circle, as you grow in life, your circle begins to shape, become smaller, because some people, so the things I would do different is the choice of friends, the choice of people that I probably would associate with. And that's the thing that I would do better. And also, maybe relationship-wise, being in a social media person, I'll be honest with you that when you try to find a partner, she'll be like, but you're a social media person. I don't want you to be posting me or what. But look, I don't post. Like, you misunderstand. People misunderstand you, And people think that, everything you do, people don't realize that social media is like a stage where musicians, for example, will go and perform on a stage. People don't realize that. So I would maybe do better in terms of, when I find, man, do I need to be a social media personality or what? Because you find that people just have this picture of you based on social media. They don't know the you of social media.
Chellah, those videos we saw, were they intended to be on social media? Did you send them to somebody and they leaked them? What was the story there?
Which videos?
No, video.
I mean, I'll tell you something, Kennedy. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
There were two different individuals. They are saying this is the same person, but the same person is light and dark skinned. Okay? Right? And, there are people who say that, this is Chellah. Because of, I can manipulate and edit you.
AI is doing everything.
I can do anything.
So in short,
at that time, I was talking about the other things that were happening, with men and men. Okay? So when I was at the hype of talking about men and men, then someone, and I'll tell you this, someone writes me a message whom I don't know. I've got videos of you which I'll leak and stuff like that. Pay me this much. And I said, which videos? I said, okay, you know what? If you think that whatever it is, go ahead and do what?
Whatever you want to do.
Yes. So now, people in Zambia, this is the way it is with Zambians. By the time you are coming to even when you speak, people will think you're just lying. You get it? So it's quite interesting, man.
Great. So Chellah, our previous guest, as we wind up, asked the question. What we do is that we'll give you an opportunity to ask a question, pick a question for the next guest. So there's a question for you that you need to answer that was asked by the previous guest that we had. In this case, it was Mutale Mwanza, isn't it? Okay, great. So the question from our previous guest is, what's the most hilarious or unexpected DM you've ever received on social media?
Yes. I think one of the most hilarious DMs I've ever gotten on social media is, there are a lot, but I'm trying to think of one that was so hilarious. One particular one. I think it was a lady
Mhm.
saying, I would just love to, uh, when actually, when those same things were going around.
Which
Okay.
things? The videos.
Yes, the videos.
Uh-huh.
When they were going around, blah, blah, blah. And this lady says, you know what? Me, I want to come and just enjoy. You get the
What
point?
was your response?
My response? I had no response. How do I respond to that? Because in the first place, what she's talking about. Yeah, so I'm like, it left me speechless because so I was like, please.
So when you went to look at her profile picture, was she nice? Was she beautiful?
When I looked at the profile picture, yeah, she's beautiful.
So you went to see you went to look at the profile
Yeah,
picture.
I checked the profile picture because I checked whether someone is locked account or well, no, okay. Then I checked. I was like, okay, fine. But then the thing is, your response, you wouldn't know whether that person is just trying to clarify that it's you. Okay, so you need to be smart. And I was just like, okay, from this question, I think I'm just gonna leave her on scene. And I just left her on scene, and I was just like, okay, fine.
Nice one, Chellah. From 3 questions, 1, 2, 3. Pick one, which will be the question for our next guest on the next show.
Question 3.
3. Okay, so question 3 reads: what food combination do you love that other people might find strange? That's the question for our next guest. As we conclude, there's a young person out there who's in the village, who's probably in Luansha, Copperbelt, and thinking from where they are, they can never rise to the top.
Yeah.
What would you tell them in 30 seconds?
Yeah, what I would tell them is that believe in yourself. Don't listen to what people say about you, because people always say something about you, whether negative or positive. Whether you do something or you don't do anything, people will still talk. But the best also is that let people talk whilst you do something, because people will always talk. Even the way you walk, people say, look at the way he walks. Look at the way he laughs because he's now making money or he's now doing this. But I want to tell you, regardless of your situation, regardless of where you are today, you may be broke such that you don't even know where your next 1 kwacha will come from and stuff like that. But I'll tell you that the moment you begin to be positive about yourself and, push your self-esteem, you're going to reach to places where you've never even imagined, because the biggest inspiration is within you, not a motivational speaker out there, not a person that is going to inspire you out there. It's you who inspires yourself because of the dreams and the goals that you put ahead of you. I always tell myself, I dream big, such that my dreams even scare me. So when you dream big and you have dreams that scare you, you're going to achieve things that you never imagined you would achieve. I mean, here's a photographer that's coming from borrowing a camera, renting a camera for 200 kwacha, but now has invested $120,000 plus in photography equipment. And also, don't just admire people for things you don't know. I may be passionate about photography. Someone is passionate about houses. Someone is passionate about cars. Then you begin to juggle around and be like, no, I should actually buy that car. You will steal. Don't steal. Do the right thing.
Chellah.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure, man.
Pleasure too.